Hey guys, so we are back with another video. Just sharing some thoughts. And today what was on our hearts is uncertainty in your early adulthood.
So basically your 20s.
Basically, but only reason I don't want to say that is because we haven't reached this other milestone that I don't know what they experience yet. So I don't even want to include y'all. Y'all might be a little more sure, but like I want to talk to these people from just out of high school
To
period
25?
to about 25, or at least to 24. So where you're probably in that period where either you might have just graduated college, and I'm not saying everybody went to college, but the only reason I want to base it like that is because there's this period of life here that you're in that's not going to be like the 25 and up. We're going to be, not that 24 is the same as 19, but there's this period you have to go through first before you get to 25. And I don't want to disrespect y'all in 25, because when I get there, y'all not about to group me with them. So from your like your 18 to like your 24, we're going to talk to y'all of that uncertainty you're feeling of starting your life and what to do next.
Yeah, like what's even going on?
What is happening?
Like,
and like mainly specifically to 2020, because that's when I'm experiencing this. So I can't speak to what happened before. This is the most updated version of what us early 20 somethings are feeling. I am not giving you any advice.
Oh yeah, no, I know nothing. Okay?
I know absolutely
I'm
nothing.
winging it out here. I'm just doing things.
We can only tell you what we're doing, but you know, if it works for y'all, still trying to figure out what works for me. But I feel like in this time, there's these days where I feel like I'm getting the hang of stuff, like I'm getting in like a little groove of like being an adult. And then there's days where it's just like I feel like I'm wasting so much time because I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. And they say there's nothing you're supposed to do, but y'all lying, because y'all do expect us to do something next. And even if you don't expect it, there is things that are coming at our door, like these bills. They're not letting us forget that we can't just choose to not do anything about it.
Y'all.
You have to make a decision. You have to make a decision, and that's in life in general, not just if you're an early 20 something. You got to make decisions, and no one knows if your decision is going to be a good one or not, but you got to make one.
Got to. Yeah, it's hard out here because when you first graduate high school, I mean, I can speak for myself personally, you think you're grown, I guess, or you think you know something because you graduated high school. So you think, yeah, I'm all big and bad. I'm an adult now, I go to college, or anyway, I'm out of high school. So for the most part, nobody's clocking my day, and I get to do what I want, and I'm my own person, and yada, 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 whatever. Then, like, you start to reach this point, like, I would say for me, it started around 21, where I start to feel like, I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing about what the hell is going on. I thought I knew everything, but I really know now I know nothing. And that realization is a lot. It can cause a lot of anxiety of like, what do I do next? Do I need to get a job? Like, do I need to get a job that makes this much money? Or how do I find this job? Or what job should I give? I don't like that job because I don't know if I really want to do that. But do I want to do this? And I don't know. Who am I? I don't know. This month I'm like this, and that month I'm like this, and last year I like that, and this year I don't even like that anymore. So I don't know.
Like, it's weird because there's people who are on the other half of this young adult that still feel the same way. And, I'm still trying to figure it out. So I could be childish for having this perspective right now, and I might change it in a year. Who knows? But as of today, I just feel like that's the system trying to play with you and telling you that you need to do X, Y, and Z because you need to do X, Y, and Z. Like, I'll feel sometimes like, I don't want to work here because I don't want X, Y, and Z. That could be childish of me. But at the same time, I feel like it's me honing in on my truth. I know I don't want that. Why are y'all living lives that you don't want to live for 20 something years just to hate your life? And again, it could be because I'm technically part of Generation Z. whew, that cutoff date there was just, it's 96, 97, I didn't make it. But I just feel like maybe we look at the world differently, where I just feel like you can have the life you want if you work for it. If you work for it and make the right decisions towards that.
And that's why right now I feel like, in my personal opinion, the best thing to do is make the right decisions. Now, what are those right decisions?
Or let's not even use the word the right decisions, because no one knows what the right decision is. It doesn't even matter if they're 40 telling you what it is.
That's
all
true.
they can tell you is based off of their experience and what worked for them. Let's just say making decisions more aligned with where you would like to go.
And this is the thing about making decisions that are aligned. You got to find out who you are.
And where do you want to go?
To even find out what aligns with you. And I think for me personally, that's like the hardest mountain I feel like I have been struggling with in this young adulthoodness, is who am I really all the way? Like, I thought I knew. And, high school does a number on you, okay? You don't know who you are after that. By the time you get out of there, I mean, I feel like who you were as a child is like your most authentic self. And getting back into that, things you like to do when you were young, and just who you are, just spending that time with yourself, just find out who you are. What do you want? Because that's how you're going to be able to make those decisions that align with what you want out of life, is finding out what is it that you want,
I also feel like for some people who maybe even feel like they have a better understanding of who they are, it's the other side of the struggle of unapologetically living as that person who who you are, what you want, what kind of life you want to live, but are you allowed to want that? Is that okay that I want those kind of things? Is that even possible? Am I allowed to have a job like that? Is it okay if I choose to raise my children this way? Is it okay if I want to live in this kind of house, or I want to make this amount of money? Like, I feel like it's understanding who you are, and then once you get there, you have to unapologetically live it. And I feel like that's something that I've been experiencing, as being scared of who I already know I want to be and who I feel like I've always been. And part of it comes from that, what will my peers think? The further you get out of high school, like how long you've been out of it, you start to really not care of who are you people.
Literally, who are you people,
and who are you to judge me about what I want to do with my life? And literally, they have nothing to do with it. They have nothing to do with it. And that's why just live your truth.
Yes,
live your truth.
Because people are going to talk about you regardless. People are going to make opinions about you regardless. It's none of your business. It's not for you to worry about. For me, even just not caring about what my parents think about me, that one's really hard.
Like up here.
That one's really hard.
And I feel like it's hard for everybody.
Just making decisions for your life that your parents might not
maybe not be
agree
happy with. Yeah. Or and they don't even know. They don't know, because it's not their life. They don't know how this is going to pan out. They just see what success they saw for you, or how they made success, and they want you to mimic it through theirs, because they feel like, I know the way, I paved the way, you need to just follow me and trust me. And it's like, I love you, and you've done so much for me, and you've gotten me this far. I know that you know a little something, okay, but that's another reason why I want to even be just closer to myself. And whoever you associate that with, but I do as my God, as far as I want to talk to him of where he wants me to go. My mom does not know where I'm supposed to go. She does not know who I was called to be, and maybe who she's called to be is actually different than who I'm called to be. So if I need to make a different move than what she's made, that's what I got to do. And then this is where, like I said, that same thing, is it childish of you if you have feelings like, this don't align with who I feel like I am. This isn't aligned with how I want to live my life. And that's that important part we said about knowing who you are. So in those moments where you're like, something about this don't sit right with me, I just don't see this being the thing for me. Are you being childish? Because there's also this aspect of, like I said, them bills be at your door. And you got to be able to take care of yourself as an adult out here. That's just what you need to be able to have. Now, there's certain different means of life. You can still survive without having to be a person who gets your nails done every week, or who does X, Y, and Z and drives a BMW and whatever else that you are accustomed to. And it's fine if you are, but know that you have to upkeep that. So if you don't want to do X, Y, and Z, but you need X, Y, and Z to do the other things you like to do, you got to do something to make sure you can keep this going. So it's like, do you do, and I get it, you don't have to do anything for forever, but I'm also in a place where I want to do things that are gonna trickle into the thing that I want to do. I don't want to just be doing this job over here that has nothing to do with it.
And
I don't know.
I will say, like, at this age, you know, it's kind of a good place to be, because you're so young. You know, you can make mistakes. Even when you're old, you can make mistakes, because you're human, so you're allowed to make mistakes. But it's a lot easier to bounce back from mistakes at this age, you know. And that's why, you know, I always get a lot of advice from older people to try everything, you know, and just try things. And that's how you'll find out what you like or what you're good at or your passion. But, you know, I always feel like I'm running out of time, man. Like, if I try that and spend a year doing that, then, like, that's a whole year wasted doing that. But I will say, there's no such thing as, like, necessarily wasted, because there's always something you learn about yourself, you know, with anything you do. So that's always good. But I like to make the decisions that align, you know.
So I read this book, and it was it's a very popular book. It's what was that book I read this summer? It was, what's the name of that book I told you I read? Is it The Alchemist? No.
I was just about to say that. The Alchemist?
Alchemist. It was The Alchemist. So I read that this summer, and, you know, not to spoil anything or anything like that, but it's basically about a boy, maybe a man at this point, can't remember what age he was really at. He was grown, so a man, I guess. And he's on this journey of finding himself and his what do they call it? His legend, following his legend, his personal legend, which we all have our own. And he did one thing for a certain period of time, and based off of a certain kind of life he wanted to live, which wasn't what everyone else saw as probably success, if you choose that, but it mimicked the life that he wanted. And from picking that kind of job, which, if we're going to go here and pick points here, he picked something he wanted to do, not something he didn't want to do. He picked what he wanted to do. That was his first step, right? So he picked what he wanted to do, and then later on, you know, people come to your life and different things happen that open your eyes to maybe what you're called to do, I guess, or what your dream is, because he was also chasing a dream he had, and ended up doing something else. And on this journey, basically, to get to this dream he had, right, of what he wanted to do, he did something he didn't want to do at a certain point. And it, not to say that he didn't love it, but it just wasn't what he necessarily pictured doing or would have set out to go out his way to do. It just, life had led him here, and he was only there for a certain period of time, and then was able to get to his next place. But the thing that I noted here, for the sake of my answering my own question, do you have to do things you don't want to do? Yeah, you do, apparently. But it's that knowing when to leave. It's knowing when to leave and what moves to make. You know, everyone's got to do something they don't want to do, but that doesn't mean you got to be like that person at your job who stayed for 20 years, who did something they didn't want to do, and then decided to 6 months could be enough of what you need to do. You just need to know where you're going and have a plan. And if you know that, then you'll know how much time is necessary. If you are just saving up so you have a vehicle so that you can then get to another place so you can work a different type of job, you don't need to spend 10 years at that job to realize that this is not the thing you wanted to do just so you can get enough money to do X, Y, and Z. But you gotta know where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, or at least a general idea of where you would like to go, you're gonna just be stuck in this motion, just in the motion.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Or you'll end up making unaligned decisions.
Yeah, which are just not going to say they're not going to ever get you to where you could go. Well, they're going to throw you off your path for a while, and you'll learn some more things on the way for sure. And that's where you saying never wasted time. There's never wasted time, but it could prolong you, where you could take a harder path than the one you could have took if you didn't do that. And I feel like all is this to say is fear, I feel like, is what's holding us all back, is being scared of taking that leap, of being scared of failing, of being scared of what will people think, of being scared of, well, will this really make me happy? stay in that job you know ain't gonna make you happy. It's not gonna help you know if the other one that you think you want to do is gonna make you happy.
It really is.
So it's like, you gotta just make moves, but you gotta make moves aligned with you and what you want. Even if what you want changes at some point, do something different. But I'm 23 saying that, so
like we said earlier, I don't know.
I don't know
if this is the right thing. Like, I don't know. Don't go
either.
listen to me and then make a decision, quit your job, and now you done messed your whole life up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I do know. I definitely do know. You were like at 22, 23, you were definitely too young to be sitting up in a job that you hate for years.
For why?
And you don't and especially if you don't have kids. Now, I understand, if you have someone else to be responsible for, or not if you don't have kids, so you have
if
an
you're
elderly
just a caretaker of
the
anyone,
caretaker.
you have responsibility in that way.
I get that. But if you are a free single, you're not married, you don't have any kids, you don't have to take care of anyone, you're the only person you have to worry about. You are in the best position that you could possibly be in. That if you hate that job, and I mean you really hate, it you wake up in the morning, you want to cry thinking about having to go there. I mean, you might cry on your lunch breaks. I've done it. So, I've hated a job that much that I cried on my lunch break before I had to go back. Take that leap.
Sure I have to before.
Take that leap. Take that leap.
And, definitely mindfully take leaps.
Of course.
Think it through a little bit, but if you feel like you're ready, you might be ready.
You might be
ready. And I feel like that's something I have to get. Even I'll speak as a recent grad, right, from college, and I get in this, am I really good enough to get these jobs? I don't know, is someone really gonna hire? It's I'm being fearful, but I just put in all this work for this, that I would like to use it. I would like it to help. I went after it because they said it would help you do X, Y, and Z. So I'm letting fear stop me from allowing it to help me.
Yeah. Because
I think it just won't work out. And I feel like that stops a lot of people. And it's weird because I'm usually not like that. But for some reason with this, it's I didn't even try yet. I haven't even attempted to do that. And it's really because now when you make decisions, my life is on the line of my life. And that's that thing of being okay with making mistakes. But I just don't want to make bad decisions.
And especially, I feel like now being out of high school for 5.5 years now, I'm in that place, man, the light looks good right there.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of get a little bit of that in there. Sorry.
I'm in that place in my life where, for the most part, I do still live at home, but I take care of myself. Any bill, that is my responsibility. I mean, if I cut my hand and need a Band-Aid, and there are no Band-Aids in the house, I would have to go to the store and use my money to purchase it. So when you're living, getting adjusted to that life where you are the sole person taking care of yourself, it definitely adds this other pressure of, I don't know, this job plays. I mean, I know I hate it. I know this job makes me want to cry, and, I hate it here, but it's safe.
And let's not even say you hate it, because sometimes you won't want to cry about it. Sometimes it's a decent job.
Everybody doesn't hate their job.
It's not even about it being something that the job is terrible. It's just, if it's not what you want to do, there's still that aching pain of hating it, because you feel like you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. And I know that because we're young, they're like, oh, you got time. And it's I just feel like if you know what you're supposed to be doing, why waste any time? Why not get on it? Why? Especially when I feel like I'm so young and I feel like this is the youngest I'll ever be. It just seems like the best time to go after what I want. And if it doesn't work out, whatever. But I have my whole life to settle on a job because it was safe or because it took care of me.
Yeah.
And, everyone doesn't have that luxury. That's another thing, too, where everyone doesn't have a parent that they live with. Or
That's
where,
true.
they take care of themselves, but they're not paying rent. Or they're not paying, whatever. And that's fine if you're not. That's a blessing. Yeah. Be grateful. But there's some people who do not have that luxury.
That is true.
And thinking to just go chase their dream does not seem as as feasible, as to do that as someone else. And so I don't want to just say that for everyone, but I will say this: everyone has resources. There's something that everyone has, whether it's someone you know,
you'd
or
be surprised.
There, even if there's you date this guy who, you know, you don't have a lot of people, but you date this guy whose parents are so willing to help you. That's your resource. You know, you may not have all this money to do this, or parents to get you a loan themselves, but you have people in your corner who want to help you. Let them help you. Like, ask for help. And the thing is, what I feel like where it falls short for a lot of people, same with myself, like I just said with that degree, I'm not even allowing my resource to work for me. I'm not even trying to see if it could work for me. You have to get out of your head and just try. Try. You have to put that effort in there. Like, be told no first before you're saying it's so hard.
No, seriously. That fear of rejection, man.
Yeah.
I know rejection is hard. It's hard. It's hard for everybody.
Getting rejected from, I'm not even scared of that they'll say I didn't get the job. I have literally no sound reason of why I haven't. It's literally just, I'm scared of, I guess the reality is that it would be something completely different. Like,
change.
It's the change, and it's the change to this extent now, where change in my life now at this age is like completely something I deal with. Like, it's not even like there's anyone else I can fall on and like, oh, this change happened, can you fix it, change it? Or it's just or it doesn't hold as much weight. These changes hold weight now. Like, this is big. But maybe it's not that big, and maybe that's part of the perspective issue that we have, is that having an employment is a pretty big deal. So I don't think we're tripping about that. But
yeah, it is.
I do think that maybe like there's some people who get like 3 different jobs in a year. I've always been a little like, I don't want to do all that. Like, I don't want to just be flipping and flopping and flopping. Or maybe you be thinking it's not that easy to get that. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes, you know, it's also easy to look at your peers and, you know, get discouraged or compare yourself. Even if you don't want to, or you don't mean to, it's natural to compare yourself to your surroundings. And you're like, oh, my friend graduated college and they got that job in like 6 months. Or my friend didn't even go to college and now they're working at blah, 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 you know, and I'm still working here. They've moved out their parents' crib. You know, you see all these people the exact same age as you. Y'all could have even went to the same school. You feel like y'all have the same, you know, setup, and they're in a different position than you. And that's their story and that's their life. And that does not mean that you're a failure or you're taking too long or you did something wrong. That is just your story and your life and how it's, you know, however way it's meant to go.
I will say this though, you are losing time by comparing though.
No, you are.
If you're not wasting time, but the moment you are so focused on what other people are doing, you are wasting time.
You are.
Because you're not making moves. You don't even know if your life could be happening for you right now, since you're so busy looking at somebody else. They out here making moves. You need to get on the ball and do something. Just do something. Do something, and it will cause a ripple effect, and domino effect of different things to happen.
Another thing I feel like I'm definitely learning is stop making excuses. It's an excuse. Whatever you think it's an excuse. I'm telling you, oh, I don't have the time. It's an excuse. I don't have the money. Excuse. I don't have this. Excuse. If you want it, you will find a way to get it.
And that goes back into the job when I was saying you work this job because you know you have another goal in mind, right? You need to save up this amount of money because you want to go to this cosmetology school and it costs this much to go. But that's your dream. That's aligned with what you want to be doing. You might got to do that, or you might got to pick up that second job. Yeah. Whatever it is in your life, all the excuses have solutions for them.
Exactly. Sometimes you're gonna have to be in uncomfortable predicaments. Like, you're gonna have to be, you know, there might be a time where someone has to work 2 jobs for 6 months just to make their life easier for next year. Yeah. And it's uncomfortable, you know. Oh, I just got off of this job, I gotta go to my next job, you know.
And the crazy part is, I think it's almost not easier for people who have to do that thing. I think it's harder for people who don't have to.
I agree.
You don't have to work that extra job. So you don't have this mindset like, I gotta get out here and get it. Like, when you have your back against the wall and there is no other way if you don't do that, you get on the ball and you do it. But when you are comfortable Well, you don't gotta do that though. Like, you can still pay your bills without having to do that. You're okay. It's like, if you want to get ahead, you need to do that. It shouldn't even always be about because you have to. Do you want to change your circumstances? So you need to do that. And that's why you need to know where the hell where you going. You need to know where you're going. You need to know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like literally, that is the key to life, I think, is knowing where you're going.
Yeah, because, and that just, you know, everything else will fall in place when you know where you're going. The friends you're supposed to have, that partner you feel like you're supposed to have, you know, everything will just,
it would just magically
it would just make
fall.
sense. And it would just make sense, you know? You know, I'm definitely, one thing, I'm trying to work on just worrying less and stressing less, because that's not helpful.
That don't serve you.
Yeah, it's just not helpful.
You,
oh my god.
It didn't change the circumstances.
Yeah.
So
all it did was just add unnecessary stress to your life.
And it's crazy because there's always a solution that comes up somehow before then. And, you know, call it what you want to call it, your divine power, whatever that is out there looking out for you, or if you believe in the universe or whatever it is for you. But there is solutions.
Always.
And I feel like it's even this level of like energy in the world that everything can't always be bad.
It can't.
So that if there needs to be something to balance this out eventually, it will happen. Even if it's too, you've been having a lot of these days, it can't always go like that. It has to do this because things thrive in balanced energy. It can't be, if it's too much of something, it's not going to do well. Whether it's high or it's low. You got to be balanced. And I'm not saying that you need to have bad times, but I think that's just life, you know? Like,
builds character.
Leaves fall off the tree and then they grow back. They literally die off the tree. That sounds like probably a tragic situation for that tree. But, I mean, like, look, you're going to be straight. You're gonna be straight. And it's going to come because it's the natural order of how things should be.
It's going to be okay. Just breathe. Just breathe. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. Don't try to have the whole next 10, 15 years planned out. It's a little much.
You know what's crazy too? Like, when things pop up, this is just something that happened the other day, and I was just thinking, like, you think you found a solution, right? And you think you found the answer to something, and then something else like pops up where it's like, well, am I supposed to do this too? Or am I supposed to do that one instead? And then now you don't want to miss out on either one, but it's like, I'd rather have this one, but why would this one just pop up at the same time this one's got to pop up? So now I got to make a decision. Why do I have to make a decision now? It was already clear that this was the answer. And it's like, I don't even know if that's just to shake you up, to see, like, I mean, because there's always two choices. And it's like, yo, now that there's two, one of them is probably not the one I'm going to want. Or I don't know how one's going to turn out. But now that there's two, things could go one or two ways for me now. And I have to now choose one and find out.
And at the end of the day, no matter what you choose, it's going to be okay.
Life
got you.
You right.
Life has you.
You right. You. And don't even worry about what the other one was, because regardless, whatever you actually pick is just the way it was meant to happen.
Because you wouldn't have picked it if it wasn't.
Even though, I will say this, some decisions people make really do lead to some things that is not what they had to go through, and it probably is not something you probably wanted to ever go through. True. So, but you will get back right. You will get back right. But you can go some places. So that's the whole fear people have about making choices. One of them could lead you in that place where it's like, I had to go there.
That is true though. That's definitely true. It definitely builds character, but I definitely feel you.
You can build character a lot of other ways too. You had to go like, you had to go like that, but that's life, right? Just learning from your decisions, and hopefully you'll get wiser and know what it is. But we don't always know the answers to everything, and that's okay. You've been on this earth for like 2 seconds. Why would you know the answer to everything already? Yeah, and even if you've been up here longer, humans average out like what? I'll say at least 100 years. I mean, I know it's decreasing, but there's humans that they get about 100.
Average like 80.
I ain't want to say, okay, let me not say the word average, but we got humans out here who've witnessed 100 years on Earth. Yeah, that's true. So for the sake of, people are making it to at least 100 years on Earth, but clearly that ain't nothing. These trees out here been holding it down. Okay, they know a little bit more about this life thing than we do. But I don't know. because I do think at some point, do you find a rhythm with this thing? Because life is
I
life,
like
right?
to hope so.
Because everything is forever changing, but I almost feel like life has some kind of like, I don't want to say formula, but there is a true essence to it that like you could understand it at some point. Like you could get it. Not saying you're going to know its next move, but you could get it. I think you could get it at some point. I think you could get it. I think it's something to be gotten.
At least if you want to.
Yeah, if you want to. If you want to. I think it's something to be gotten. Or at least understood.
Well,
that's all we got for y'all.
We will catch you guys next time.
Oh, wait. Apparently this is separation. So this is unity.
Oh.
Yeah. The system trying to hold you down. Just be together. Somebody taught me this. But this, I mean, it makes sense though.
It does.
So maybe we should make this the new. Didn't they do this in like some like,
E.T.?
old time?
Is this E.T.?
It is E.T., but like, I meant like, you know, like Black Panther people or something. Like, you know, didn't they used to go like this? Who do that? Who do this? Somebody do that. I seen that somewhere. I know you seen that somewhere.
Who do that?
Google it, y'all, because somebody do that.